The Mantis questline is a secret mission questline that you can find by getting off of spacers. This questline video is going to have some spoilers in it, so this is your warning to not watch it if you don't want to get it spoiled. If you're still here, let's get into it. Now, to frame up this questline a little bit more, this is a secret place that you can find by getting a message off of a dead spacer. This information is going to lead you to a different planet in a different system that will allow you to start really getting into this questline. So let's actually get into the more details of where I found the questline start, at least in my game. During one of the main story missions, I killed a spacer and it had this little note on it called Secret Outpost. You're going to find this note on a random number of spacers, and you want to make sure you pick this up because this is how you actually start the main questline to get yourself to the Mantis secret base. You'll get the questline labeled Mantis as soon as you pick this up, and you want to make your way out to the secret outpost that it's labeled. So it's actually in a pretty far off area, level 30 solar system. Now, it's really not too difficult to get to, thankfully, but again, be prepared because if you're just starting off the game and you get this questline, you're going into a level 30 secret outpost with higher level enemies. And these enemies are going to give you a very warm welcome as soon as you touch base and get out of your ship at this secret outpost. But obviously, blast your way through, and inside, you're going to come across a lot of random junk and hear a little bit of the storyline as you're making your way through. Again, just blast your way through all the spacers and you'll find a bunch of different slates and audio logs placed on spacers and in different consoles throughout the enclosure, giving you the background around this actual Mantis storyline. This one particular audio log is very important.
So met with a lawyer and was prepared to party. Hard. The video will was emotional. Mom and I stopped talking years ago.
This is going to actually introduce you to the full background around the Mantis, but what's important is that you remember the name of this actual audio log because it is part of a puzzle later on in this area. Obviously, keep on making your way through. You're going to find a lot more spacers, as I keep mentioning, and a lot more of these different voice memos that give you, again, more background around this. You want to keep doing these because this will actually give you a lot more credits and more XP when you actually finish up the mission. You'll find Leon actually dead and then be able to talk to Livy here. Livy is going to be one of the spacers that surrenders to you and actually gives you information about the traps that you're about to walk into. Totally up to you if you want to keep them.
It's because I'm smart. You've killed so many. I am nothing. No chance. So we can make a deal?
After completing the dialogue with Livy, he's going to tell you about this corridor of death that you see on the screen now. There's a bunch of different combinations of words that you have to do in the correct order to make sure you don't get zapped by 5 different lasers. This is where that audio log that I told you was important comes in. Do you see the Tyrannus on here? The actual name of this audio log. That is the special word that you need to put into the little steps or the little buttons on the ground. This is the exact order you need to go in. Now, some of these are difficult to see on the ground, but a little trial and error, a little quick save before you start going through, you'll be able to make it to the other end, press the red button, and you are home free. This is by far the hardest part of this entire questline. But be warned, the final corridors are filled with laser turrets and a bunch of different robots that you need to go through and defeat. Now, they are about level 20, at least they were for me. They might be higher level for you, depending on where you are inside the game, how far you've progressed, but just a heads up. You can also pick up more of these audio messages. The final one is going to be right before you enter into the actual lair of the Mantis. This audio log should be the last one for the optional side of this questline. Go through this final door and you will actually be greeted with a bunch of different junk that the lair of the Mantis has for you. There is a lot of good stuff in here, I will say this. But if you go to the other side, you'll actually see the ship that you now are able to get. But there's one little final trick. Livy is actually going to shut you in here and try and basically bait you out of all the treasure. But what he doesn't know, the Mantis left one more trap.
Will be. Wait. Turn off. Turn off.
RIP our sweet little spacer boy, but make sure you grab his credits before you actually get your ship. And speaking of the ship, make your way into the Goro. You will have one last message from the Mantis, basically to Leon, as you're supposed to be Leon. But nonetheless, everything in here is now yours for the taking, including the ship, as you see on the dock here, and also a fantastic spacesuit. But be careful of the robots. If you go to the right, you'll actually be able to avoid all the different robots that are still enemies for you, or take them out for spare parts, whatever you feel like doing. Now, to actually claim this spacecraft as your own, make your way to the beacon or little icon right below the spacecraft, hit the lever and you can go pick it up on the surface. But don't forget to go to the back room to get your really cool set of armor. Now, this armor set is still one of the best armor sets that I've come across in my almost 20 hours of playing this game so far. So I highly recommend that you equip this as soon as you can, ride it out as long as you can, and then slap it on a mannequin. But to make sure you get your spacecraft, make your way back to the first room where Levy blew up, hit the elevator, run over to the icon, and you'll be able to see the Mantis in its full glory, or at least the Mantis's ship. Now, there's a lot of different things part of this ship that are very different from your Frontier ship. Obviously, the design and the paint job are vastly different, but you also have shielded cargo, which allows you to smuggle contraband, or at least to a certain amount. I go over all that in a different video, but in addition to the shielded cargo, you have a much bigger engine, much bigger grav drive. The amount of options and maneuverability that you have with this ship is vastly different from your starter ship. It's a fantastic upgrade, especially early game. The ship also has 2 floors. The top floor allows you to store weapons, armor, helmets, anything that you really want to, mobility and combat wise. In the cockpit, you also have a captain's locker, which on the Frontier, you don't have one at all, so extra storage, and also the actual cargo bay has a lot more storage in the Frontier, also a massive bonus. And that's how you're able to complete the full Mantis quest line. As I had stated earlier, it's a fantastic early game option. The armor set I'm still using to this day through my 20 hours of playing this game, and I'm still using this actual ship because of the concealed or shielded cargo. I can smuggle a lot more stuff, but I hope you guys found this helpful. I hope you guys are able to get to this quest line a lot easier than I did. I hope you guys did enjoy this. Again, if you could, hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I'll catch you on the next video.